Last episode, we talked about the valuation of mile and I showed you my exact calculations of how you can derive your personal value of a mile. So in today's episode, I will share my own personal calculation of a mile and how did I derive it, and maybe help you optimize for the best use for your air miles so that it can help you maximize your redemption and award flights. Now in my previous episode, I talked about economy flights award tickets netting you around 1.1 to 1.7 cents per mile depending on which destination you redeem your awards flight for. So to cut the long story short, business class award flights redemption will net you at least 2 cents per mile. So that's a dramatic increase from that 1.1 to 1.7 cents from that economy class, right? So in today's episode, I'm going to explore a few examples of how you can redeem business class award flights for at least 2 cents per mile. Now, if you want to learn of such credit card strategies and miles hacks, right, then do join us on our Telegram group. We may not be the most focused miles community, but we definitely have a lot of integration towards other topics like CPF, retirement, credit cards, personal finance, and all that stuff. So join us at Honey Money SG Telegram. The first thing about using a miles for awards flight is that you really need to plan ahead for your travel, because it's not like cash ticket, right? When you want to buy, you just have to pay cash and you can get the ticket. For miles award ticket redemptions, you need to have a more strategic planning and more flexible dates in order for you to get that seat availability, as well as you can make any changes if you need to change your plans. So for my first example, I'm going to use the date from 2nd to 11th February in 2024, which is next year, for the business class flight from Sing to Munich return. Now, why 1 year ahead is to really make sure that you can redeem at the savers rate. I talked about it last episode, right? Savers rate is the discounted rate, and then advantage is the normal rate. So if you want to make sure that you have the best availability, that you can do an instant confirmation of your flights, then make sure you book as far ahead as possible. But of course, I understand that you may not be able to plan your flights so far ahead. That's why for award flight tickets, especially for saver awards, you can actually pay a $25 to change your date for your award ticket flights. That's for the business saver. And if you redeem an award ticket for an advantage flight, you can change it for free, $0. So we take a look at this flight, 2024, 2nd to 11th February, Sing to Munich. We are looking at a miles redemption rate of 207,000 KrisFlyer miles plus $195 in taxes. And then if we go back and look at the cash redemption rate, we will be getting $4,435 for the cash rate. Now you ask yourself, are you willing to part with 4,400 Singapore dollars just to take a return flight from Singapore to Munich? Now I could honestly say that I wouldn't, because 4,400 is a lot of money, right? It's somebody's 1 month's paycheck. But if you manage to earn that on your air miles for credit cards, then it does not seem that bad, right? So now let's calculate the value of the mile. How much are you redeeming it at? So we take 4,435 minus 195 divide by 207,000, and we will get the value of mile to be 2.05 CPM, which stands for cents per mile. So you see, that's at least 2 cents per mile of value, which is much better than your economy award tickets. Sounds like a really good deal, right? But how about a better good deal from my sponsor? I think this company throw away free money until ki siao already. But just in case you haven't heard about this crazy company called Weibo, they are giving you up to $500 for depositing any amount into the trading account. Yes, any amount, even 1 cent will do. There is no need to do any buy trades, no need to subscribe to any funds. And I'm not joking, because you can see from my community Telegram members that have gotten their Apple or Tesla shares. And if you're even luckier, you can get like Amazon or Google shares worth up to $100 per spin. So 5 spins will net you up to $500. And what are you waiting for? Durian to drop, is it? Now the durian has already dropped. So if you want to pick up the durian, go and sign up for an account using my referral link down below, or scan the QR code right here to get your Weibo account today. Now, one more thing to note about award tickets is that they have much lesser fees if you want to change your dates because of your flexibility to travel. Maybe your company wants you to host an event, or you have an important project coming up and you're unable to travel on the intended date. You see, award tickets, even Business Saver, allows you to change at a small fee of $25. But if you look at the cash rate for Business Lite, okay, which is the lowest cash rate, you need to pay at least $340. That's on top of your $4,400 of ticket fee, you know. So you see, sometimes award ticket, even if you have to book like 1 year ahead or like a few months ahead, but you are able to change the date at a very small fee if you really need to do so. So this is why most of the non-company sponsored business class passengers, they are able to travel there because of their air miles, okay? And you definitely could too if you apply the same miles strategy using the air miles credit cards or rewards credit cards. Okay, so let's take this award ticket one level higher. What if you want to fly in the best class available for Singapore Airlines? And that will be the KrisFlyer Suites class, which is available on their A380 airplane. Now, there are not a lot of flights which is using the Airbus A380, which is one of the largest passenger airplanes. So you need to be very strategic about that route. So I have chosen SIN to Sydney for 10 to 17 February 2024. And that will be on the A380 first class suites. But it's very difficult to find the saver rate. So the best I could find is only the advantage rate, which is not at waitlist. Now, if you were to do a miles redemption, how much would that cost you? So we use this search booking and we can come up to this miles redemption rate of 310,000 miles at $173 of taxes. And the cash rate for the same flight will be $9,224. That's a lot of money, but you really need to make sure that when you're booking it, it's the correct class and the correct flight route, okay? Make sure it's the A380 that is serving this flight route. Otherwise, you're just getting normal first class. You're not getting the suites class. So your value per mile calculation will be $9,224 minus $173 divided by 310,000 miles, which comes up to a cents per mile value of 2.92 CPM. Now you see, that's almost a 50% improvement from that business class redemption that we talked about earlier. But you ask yourself, are you willing to pay $9,000 over just for a two-way flight from Singapore to Sydney? I can answer for myself, it's a definite no lah, because you don't save on the time, you just travel in better comfort, better luxury, better space, better privacy and all that, but you don't arrive faster, you know. So this kind of luxury travel thing is very subjective one. Some people do it for the experience, some people do it for the convenience, some people just prefer to have a more private space, some people just prefer not to be squeezed with the economy class passengers. So one final scenario that I want to talk about is that, is there really no use case to chase miles if you are not interested in business class or first class travel? I would say no, because it actually depends on how far is your destination, and sometimes economy award flights may really make sense. And let's take a look at this route from Singapore to SFO, San Francisco. I'll put it at the date from 6 to 14 January 2024. And let's take a look at the cash rate first. You see the cash rate will be $1,931 all in. And then the advantage miles rate will be $140,000 in air miles plus $93 in taxes. But if you look at the savers redemption rate, which is available for this date, it will be 84,000 air miles at $93 in taxes. So if you calculate the value of miles using the advantage rate, you are taking $1,931 minus 93 divided by 140,000, which will give you 1.31 cents per mile. But if you calculate for the value of miles saver rate, then you will just take $1,931 minus $93 divided by 84,000, and that will give you a cents per mile value of 2.19 CPM. And you see, 2.19 CPM is better than the business class redemption ticket already. So the short conclusion I could make here is that miles redemption are definitely worth it for further destinations, even if you're not traveling on luxury cabins like business class or first class, because like even economy class ticket to SFO is worth it at more than 2 cents per mile. So the further the destination is, or the higher level of award seat that you redeem for, the more worth it is the miles. So that is a general rule that you can follow if you're playing the air miles game. So in short, I have 4 tips for you if you want to play the air miles game and redeem award flights. Number 1, understand the value of the miles. Make sure you know how to calculate the cents per mile value and make sure that you are not losing out in any way. Number 2, use your miles wisely for high value redemptions and not for short flights. Number 3, plan ahead so that you can have the best availability to actually secure the saver rate instead of the advantage rate. And finally, be flexible with your travel dates, because since you need to book really far ahead, there may be instances where you really need to change the date, but you just have to pay a very small fee for that. So personally, I do have 2 ways of valuing air miles. The first value is based on my effort to earn the air miles and to track them. So if I were to compare a 4 mile per dollar card, I'll compare it to a 5% cashback card. So some of the examples of 4 mile per dollar cards includes like your HSBC Revolution, your Citi Rewards Mastercard, your DBS Women's World Mastercard, as well as UOB Preferred Platinum Visa or Visa Signature. And then your minimum 5% cashback cards are like your DBS Live Fresh, your Citi SMRT, your UOB Evo, and OCBC Frank. So you see 4 mile per dollar equivalent to 5% cashback because the same amount of work is needed to track it, and hence 1 mile will be equals to 1.25 cents per mile. So that is the earned value, which is 1.25. But how about the redemption value? I will only redeem miles if they are at least 1.5 CPM, because there needs to be a profit margin between how much it costs to incur versus how much you use it to redeem, right? If not, what's the point of the effort? And in case you are unaware of the effort, you do need manual effort to accumulate all these air miles over the years to make it worthwhile for you to redeem. You also need manual tracking to make sure that these air miles do not expire, whether in your bank account or in your KrisFlyer account. Also, the fact that you need to plan routes ahead, so you need a lot of detailed and strategic planning to plan your travel. And lastly, the opportunity cost of not earning any air miles because it's an award flight and not a cash flight, right? So cash flight, you can earn some little miles for your flight tickets, but for award flights, you don't get that. So I would say between 1.25 and 1.5 cents per mile, that 0.25 will be my profit margin. And that is largely my personal value of a mile, which may not apply to you. But what is your value of a mile then? If you do your own calculations, I would like to know about it as well. So if you haven't seen my part 1 of miles versus cashback, then do refer to my video right here because I'll go through with you how do I calculate it for economy class and basic redemptions.